Hi Flosstube, I'm Christy. Welcome to Christy with a K. This is my second video and I'm looking forward to spending some time with you. I want to talk about some thank yous. I have a finish, I have some works in progress to show, I have some a new start, things in the queue, and then we'll talk about what's going on in the future. So let's have at it. First I want to say some very heartfelt thank yous to all of you who commented and subscribed and liked my first video. Your response was overwhelming to me. I've actually been kind of scared to start a second video, thinking that I can't live up to what you guys expect me to be, and that's crazy, yeah, but it's me, and that's how I think, and so I may not be funny all the time. I'm just, I'm gonna do me. I don't know that I've ever in my life been called adorable. And two people called me adorable, and I'm like, oh my god, you're adorable. I'm adorable. You gotta believe them, because people don't lie on Flosstube. How could they? I also want to thank Joe Gregoire and Cowgirl Kate for the lovely shout outs. I'm sure that the large numbers of people who saw my video is directly related to their kind comments about the work that I did. Also, I showed my mother your responses to the picture of her Afghan, and she was tickled pink. She's just giggling and smiling and all happy. And when I visited her earlier in the month, we did spend some time talking about how she does her process of converting cross-stitch charts to Afghans, and I filmed that, and we took some pictures of Afghans that she's done, and I'm going to edit all that together and put up a video, a separate video about that, so you guys can see how she does her work and how awesome she is, and you all can enjoy. It was interesting. She was really interested in teaching people this process, that she wants more people to consider working this way, and translating cross stitch to the knit world and vice versa. Maybe the knit world to cross stitch, I don't know. Can that be done? Maybe, probably. Sure, it can be done. Okay, so that's my thank yous, as meager as they are. I don't have the words to say the things that I want to say to you guys, and tell you how my spirit's been lifted by you. It's just, that's, you know, I don't have the words. I'm sorry, I don't have the words, but I love you guys. Okay, so finishes. I have a finish. I have a big finish. I was able to finish my mother's project in time to take it to Dallas with us, and so I wanted to show you that finish. However, I gave it to her, and now I don't have it, and she has it. And you know what she did? She took it with her when we went to the cross stitch store, and she showed it off, and they loved it, and they were wondering if it needed to be blocked. And normally you don't have to block cross stitch. However, this was stitched in half stitch, and so it did kind of have a little, tilt. So I went ahead and decided, yeah, we should probably block it, because they could maybe straighten out the tilt, and it would make it easier for the framers and so forth. So I don't have it, and she doesn't have it, and the blockers have it, and it's probably back by now. So I do have a picture of the finished project. Let me show you the pattern first, or not the pattern, this is the picture on the box. This is Rocky Point. It's just called Rocky Point. Rocky Point Lighthouse. It is Dimensions, the Gold Collection. This is what it was supposed to be. And here is what it finally looked like. That was done on 18 count oatmeal Aida. I started it January 29th and finished it on March 26th. And really, I liked stitching it. I wasn't sure that I would like a dimensions kit. And I wasn't sure I would like it with the half stitches, but the half stitches made it go fast. And I was trying to find something to hate about it, but I actually kind of liked it. So that was good, and that helped me get it finished because it wasn't terrible. Anyway, that's Rocky Point and my finish. Actually, it's my first finish of the year. I've been really slow stitcher this year. Actually, not slow. That was fast. That was 2 months. I'm working on bigger projects this year than I did last year, so I've had only one finish, and I've actually only had like 2 or 3 starts, which is very different from last year. Last year I was doing lots of smaller projects, lots of starts. I was doing all of the sals last year, and I'm just not this year. This year I'm stitching to my own drum. I mean, I look at the sals and I'm kind of interested in the sals, but it's just kind of been stitching what I want at my pace and getting stuff done, and I don't know why. It just, that's the way this year is going, and that's fine because work's getting done. I'm having a good time. So let's talk about my works in progress. My first one started January 5th of 2016 is Prairie Schooler Alphabet. I am currently working on letter O for owl. I am doing this project on, let's see, it's 2/1 on 25 count Lugana. I am doing 3 pieces of 9 letters each. I started with the middle 9 letters, and here's my current progress on the owl. I'll show you the whole thing because it's lovely to see. There's the whole set I've done so far. Almost finished with the middle row, ready to start on the bottom row stitches, using the colors as charted, stitching these 4 stitches apart from letter to letter and then from row to row. Also, I am not stitching the letters. The letters are supposed to be different colors, or try to be different colors, but some of the colors don't show as well. So I'm choosing just simply not to stitch any of them, and I think the letters show up nicely. I like the look of this so far. It's a peaceful piece. It's a tranquil piece. I've always loved autumnal colors. The next WIP I worked on this over the past month was Ink Circles Damask Square. And this is the pattern picture. I have changed the fabric. I'm doing this on 16 count Shimmering Seas fabric by Under the Sea Fabrics. And I worked on one of the next arms. So I worked on one of the side arms. I'm about to start on the bottom arm. I think I worked on this one, but it's not completely finished because the chart is actually on 2 pages, and I just haven't done the other page yet, so this one is not as big yet. Okay, I have a new start. Once the lighthouse was finished, I was eager to move on to another project, and so I picked a Heaven and Earth design. I realized, and I'm going to talk about this later, I'm going to 2 Heaven and Earth retreats, one later this year and another one early next year. Yet I was working on no Heaven and Earth design, so I thought I would put one together. And this one initially was intended to, I would work on this throughout the year and be able to take it to the retreat in October and maybe even the one in February, and have it mostly done so people can see and just share. But it's going so fast that I may have it done much quicker than expected. It's let's see, it's called Sampler Letters, and this is letter W by Selena Fennick. These charts are found on the Heaven and Earth site under the specialty charts. They're called Tiny Treasures, and she's done the whole alphabet, and each letter has a figure that goes with it that is matches the letter. So I'm thinking W is for wings. My son's first name starts with B, and there was a little creature there. I think it was a brownie, maybe, and it just didn't fit for my son. It didn't fit like the dragon fits for him. So that's why I chose the dragon over the last name initial over the first name initial. And so here he is. He's so cute. I call him W. And yesterday he got his face and his throat. So he's much more interesting to look at than before. It's so simple. It's like 16 colors, which are not all black and white. And it's just gone really, really fast. And I adore it. It's stitched on 18 count Magic Guide Aida in ivory. And I want to talk about these. So these short and curlies over here. Cross stitch pubic hair? Anyway, some people are doing away waist knots when they start a thread, and again they're doing a knot when they end the thread. And I want to let you know that you don't have to do the knot at the end of the thread. If you just leave enough, then it will stay. Let me show you the back. So these will get covered when I do the next column, and I'll be able to snip them off. But they really don't move. Sometimes I pull on the front side and kind of tighten them if they seem loose or they seem like they're going to come through. But you don't have to do the knot as you end the thread. You can just kind of end it. Another thing I'm doing, I don't know if you remember from my first video, but I had showed you the finished Heaven and Earth design, and it had ridges in it from doing it column by column. So my solution, I still want to do it column by column because that's it makes sense to me. I can keep it neat that way. It's my process. It's how I do it. But again, I don't want to get those ridges anymore. So what I'm doing is in the chart on the edge, the right edge stitch, the last of the 10, if that same color is used in the next column, like right next to it, then I'll go across and do it all the way across so that my line is not straight down, it's staggered for any number of stitches. The line is staggered. Some people do a zigzag, but again that seemed too regular to me, and I was still worried that you would see the zigzag line. So this is more random, and it really has kept it from getting columns at all. So that's my recommendation to you all. If you're getting columns or you're worried about columns, is just continue the color just a little further, and you won't have that worry, and then you can do them in columns. And we like the column. I like the columns. It's the column. Okay, so that's finish, works in progress, new start, what's in the queue. What are the ones that I'm working on right now in the queue that I've kitted up, but still contemplating it, is the Autumn Owl Trio by Heaven and Earth Designs. It's the 3 owls sitting across. It's by Anna Kai, And the first owl is holding a Starbucks cup, and that's the owl that I'm interested in. I'm not so interested in the other two. So I know they have that one by itself in a mini, but a mini seemed like too much at the time, and so I bought the mini autumn owl trio, and I'm just gonna do that little guy with the Starbucks cup, and you'll find out later why I want the Starbucks cup. I had some fabric. It is a most sale fabric, and it's in a color that's very similar to the background of the chart. And I don't have a picture right now. It's on my tablet, which I'm filming on, so I can't show you. I will insert a picture here. So with the orange background, if I use this fabric, then I don't have to stitch the background either. I can just stick to the owl, which is not even a whole heaven and earth page. I have pulled all of the colors for the whole chart, even though that owl doesn't use all of the colors. I wanted them there just in case I needed them. I didn't want to have to. I could have taken the time to sort through and figure out exactly which colors were going to be in that particular owl. But I decided just, faster, just to pull all of the colors and just pull out the ones I need. So now it's a matter of going through and figuring out the edge. He's kind of rusty color around the edge, and so just picking those threads out and starting. So that's kind of my MacGyvered heaven and earth chart idea. I'll let you know when I get started, and you'll see next time how it's going, and I'll give you some feedback about that whole process. It should be interesting. It's interesting to me, and so it's interesting. Some other projects that are in the queue that I'm considering. This is Chesterton on blue patchwork. This is not a story keep. I guess it's a little bit bigger than a usual story keep. He is 125 by 459. And I'm a quilter, and I'm a knitter, and I have a cat, tuxedo cat. She's a girl, and she's a character. She likes to bring me balls of yarn. She thinks I need them. She brings them to me. If she can reach the yarn balls or skeins or whatever she can, she will, and she'll pick it up and she'll bring it to wherever I am. If I'm in bed, I'll find 2 or 3 balls of yarn in my bed when I wake up in the morning. If I'm downstairs stitching, she brings them down and puts them by my chair because, I need that yarn while I'm stitching, obviously. She's very proud of what she does, and she tells me about it. And she won't stop talking about it until I pet her and let her know that she's done a wonderful thing. And so she's a character. If I'm up in my sewing room, my craft room, she sits on the ironing board, which is by the window, and she watches over me. I call her my supervisor. She makes sure things keep going, and she makes sure the ironing board stays nice and warm because that's what she likes. So that's Chesterton, who is going to be renamed, nicknamed Groovy, because Groovy is my cat that I'm talking about, that I like. So that's one that's in the works. I have the fabric, I have the floss sorted but not all bobbinated, and that will happen soon. Next one I'm considering are these. Look how happy these are. Autumn Owls. This is a pain-free crafts design. Look how happy. They're just happy, and they're wacky, and they're a little freaky, which, I like the creepy cool stuff. This one is 300 by 196, so wide but thin. wide but not tall, sort of like me. They're just happy. Just happy. And I thought, how much easier to stitch this on white, and then you wouldn't have to do so much background. I don't have a piece of white big enough. I have some ivory, and it's Magic Guide, so I don't have to grid it. So would I rather grid a piece of white that I have to go out and buy, or use the ivory that's already gridded, that I already have, and stitch a whole bunch of white? Well, I'm a cross stitcher. I like to stitch, so I'm going with what I have, right? Right? I think it's kind of 6 of one, half a dozen of another. Anyway, there they are. They're cool. They're creepy cool. I like them. That should be fun. That one will, there's no time frame on that one at all. It's just when things happen. Another thing that I have sort of percolating in my head in my queue is my very first Mirabilia. You don't know me well yet, and hopefully we will become very, very, very good friends. But I'm not really a Mirabilia kind of gal. The fancy ladies, they're gorgeous. Oh my gosh, they're gorgeous, and the work that you all have done with yours has been spectacular. They're amazing when they're done. They don't fit with my aesthetic in my home. They don't. It's not. It's just. Yeah. It's not me. Sorry, it's not me. It's not me. Anyway, but I did find a design that I do love. Let me just show it. This is Deco Spirits. Others have worked on it, are working on it. It's been around. Others have talked about doing it, and I'm talking about doing it too. I have a thought about Mirabilias. I think that what really subconsciously people love about her work is the architecture of them. Seen easily in this one and in some of the others, the columns and the scroll work, and actually the draping of the dresses is also considered architecture or structure. It's just a draped design, and I think that back in your sort of subconscious design sense, that sense that says that 3 or 5 is better than 2 or 4, that sense is there, and I wonder. I mean, the girls are pretty, the girls are gorgeous, but isn't it also maybe the draping? Could it be? I mean, I think maybe people just love that stuff and just aren't aware that they do. Anyway, I love these gals, and these gals do fit with my aesthetic. They'll go great in my living room or dining room. I'm going to do a Mirabilia. That's the one I'm going to do, and that's the one I like. And so it's a matter of I have the fabric for it. I'm collecting the flosses. It's just a matter of putting floss to fabric at this point. But again, it's another big chart. I am considering some in my queue, some smaller charts. These are Bent Creek snappers. There are a whole series of sort of welcome to our home, and there's 5 of them. There actually is they're separate charts. There's a border you can buy, so you put them in a certain order, but I don't like the order that they put them in. It didn't make sense to me. But these in no particular order. This is hello, and this is make yourself to home, and this is will you stay a while? glad you're here. And welcome. Now, those aren't in the proper, they're just in the order that I pulled them out of their packages. I think I have a column near my front door, and I think they'd be kind of cute, just sort of down the column. Or they could go down a hallway, sort of like a Burma shave. Have you heard of that? Burma shave signs down the highway. So down the hallway. It's cute, and you know, they're like 50 by 50, so they're tiny and they'd be easy to do. That's what we all say, right? Worth a try. Okay, so that's everything that's in the queue. What I wanted to do next was the Know Your Needleworker tag. Where do you live? I live in the exurbs of Seattle, Washington. Beyond the suburbs, a little further out. I guess we're about 30 minutes from Seattle on the interstate if there's no traffic. So we benefit from having a large city nearby, but we don't have all of the hassles of traffic and so forth of a big city. It's a lovely suburb, exurb, and we enjoy living here very much. We've been here 16 years. It'll be 16 years in July, so something that we like. The only thing that we don't like about it is that our family is far away in Texas, so it's you know, more than 2,000 miles away, our family. But we have 2 mountain ranges, we have the ocean, we have the Sound, we have numerous lakes, we have again, mountains. There beyond the mountains there's prairie, there's a waterfall not far from me, and it's we love the outdoors and the large trees, and it's a lovely place to be. Let me see, what do I do for a living? I am a stay-at-home mom, have been so since since we've lived here. I quit my job. I worked for Blue Cross of Texas, and I worked in managed care program. Let me see. Children, I have one son. He is 14. He is an 8th grader in middle school, and he is a treasure. He's a really special kid, and he's doing great. He's working on his black belt in Taekwondo. He is 1 belt below black belt. He is working on his Eagle Scout rank. So he's a Life Scout, and he just started working on planning his Eagle project, which is kind of exciting. Waiting to hear back from the community agency that he would like to work with to get that started. Let me see. Pets. I've talked about one. Her name is Groovy. She's over there on the table. She's right over there on the table, not looking at me, but being nearby, which is how she is. And I have Tico, who is an orange tabby, and we got them together at a cat adoption event. They were found in the same colony, but they are not from the same litter. Groovy is a month or 2 older than Tico. But they've been together pretty much their whole lives, so they're kind of like siblings, although there's been some squabbling and territory issues. They're sweet. We like them very much, and they're characters, and I'd show them, but no, not right now. You'll see them soon, I'm sure. Groovy's she's over here now. She's laying on some of the projects that I wanted to show you later. So that's my pets. Before them I had a cat. His name was Chainsaw. He passed away old age. He was 18 years old, had some hip arthritis and tooth problems and so forth, and he was just, at the end he was in a lot of pain, so we we made a decision to take him out of his pain. So that's pets. Other hobbies. I cross stitch. I needlepoint. I knit. Here's some socks that I did that I just pulled out of the clean laundry basket. They're probably 5 or 6 years old. They're starting to felt at the bottom and at the heel. But just an example of some of the work that I can do. This is part cashmere, part I don't remember what type of wool it was. Probably BFL. It's superwash anyway. And I don't remember the name of the pattern because it was 5 years ago, and I've kind of gotten away from knitting. I also crochet. I've done quite a few afghans. One of them was published in a crochet magazine. They were doing a retrospective on the pattern. Pattern had been around for 10 years, and they talked to people who had actually done the pattern that they found us on Ravelry. And so one of the pictures of one of my afghans was in the article. Kind of cool. And then they asked us about the process of crocheting it, and they asked us about the process, like I talked about how to choose the colors and so forth. The pattern is called Babette, if you're familiar with that, on Ravelry, or you can look it up on Ravelry. It's concentric circles, but they're different size. Usually granny squares are regular size and they're all the same. So these are big ones and smaller ones and down to teeny tiny ones. Anyway, put that down. So that was kind of exciting. I've been published. Let me see. We like cooking. We like traveling. We like also this hobby called letterboxing. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's like geocaching, if you've heard of that. That one's a little more well known. So there's this website called atlasquest.com, and I'll put a description or put a link there. And so you put in your zip code, and it will give you clues to letterboxes that are in your area. What's a letterbox? So a letterbox is usually a Tupperware container or waterproof container that's hidden. I have some hidden in all the parks in the town where I live. Inside the container is a hand-carved rubber stamp and a notebook. And you go out and you have a little hand-carved stamp that represents you, or in our case it represents our family because the three of us go out together. And you have your own logbook that you take with you and your own stamp. So you go out, you follow the clues or the directions to get to the box, and you find it and you open it up in the inside. So you take the stamp that's in the box and you ink it up and you stamp it in your logbook. And then you take your stamp that represents your family and ink it up and stamp it in the logbook that's in the box. And you date it, and you write a little note, and you talk about how awesome the stamp is, because these are artwork. These stamps are truly amazing pieces. And then you box everything back up and you hide it back very carefully where you found it, and make sure that no one has seen you, because we don't want any of the muggles stealing these things. We don't want any of the geocachers deciding that the hand-carved stamp is a trinket that they're allowed to take, because it's not. The stamp needs to stay in the box. What I thought I'd do is I brought one of our logbooks, and I thought I might show you some of the artwork in there. So here is some of the, well, I want to cover where they were found. So this is going to be a little complicated, holding this. So these are some of the, again, hand-carved picture stamps that we found in the in a park nearby. This one is astonishing. Hand carved. These are 3 that I did for a zombie event. I made those. Kind of gross, but detailed and cool. Here's another one, and this was the name of the event. Isn't he cute? Well, you know, in a zombie sort of way. Cute. Anyway, so that's the amazing things you can find when you're letterboxing. It gets you out hiking. It gets you out into the woods. It gets you into maybe some parks that you never knew were there, or some buildings. I have one in a bagel shop nearby that people come and visit, and they come. Some of them who are letterboxes come to that bagel shop to get the stamp, and then they eat the bagels and they realize they're the best bagels in the world. So that's a little bit about letterboxing. If you have more questions, I'll be happy to answer them and point you to that. The website Atlas Quest will explain a lot more. There's another one, letterboxing.org, I believe. They have some that Atlas Quest doesn't have, but Atlas Quest has more letterboxes, and letterboxes are all over the world. Don't even think it's just an American or Canadian thing. There's letterboxes all over the world. It's kind of cool to think out there, just there could be a bit of treasure right where you're walking, and you don't even know it was there, and it's awesome. And so that's letterboxing. The next is my favorite movie. Okay, favorite movie. What I tell muggles and people who don't understand and people who don't want to get into it is that Shawshank Redemption is my favorite movie. What I tell people who are willing to listen is that 84 Charing Cross Road is my favorite movie. It was filmed in the late 80s, I believe. It has Anne Bancroft and Anthony Hopkins, and it's based on a memoir by Helene Hemp, who's a pretty famous writer in New York City. She also wrote scripts for the TV show Ellery Queen. So she and this bookshop owner in England have started up this dialogue through letters. Helene asks this antiquarian bookseller for books, certain books, and he provides them or doesn't. And it starts out in the 50s, so that the people in England are still under rations, and she sends them gifts to help them make it through that rationing period. And they build this friendship through their letters. And she breaks the fourth wall, talks to the audience fairly often, and it draws you in, and they have this relationship, and it's just a treasure, sweet story. And so it's 84 Charing Cross Road. I'll put the IMDb link down below and in the description box, and hopefully you'll check it out and let me know what you think of the movie, or maybe you've already seen it and maybe you agree with me that it's really kind of awesome, and Anne Bancroft has never looked so beautiful. Let's see, favorite TV show. Probably Big Bang Theory. But there's others. Modern Family, maybe even more than Big Bang Theory. I like Game of Thrones. I like we like QI, which is a British game show, panel discussion show that we've seen. We like very much. It has Stephen Fry, and we learn a lot from that, and it's funny. I like Mom, and I've liked Dexter. Oh, I liked Orange is the New Black. Remember, we talked about that last time. Great show. I saw The Nick recently. That was interesting. It's kind of gory, but I liked how they depicted the medical practices in the early 1900s. That was interesting for me. So there's a few of the shows I like. Favorite book. Life of Pi. They made it into a movie, but I never saw the movie because the book kind of, in a way, changed my life about how we fit in the universe and what we think is reality and what is reality, and not necessarily the same thing. So that book. I like the Outlander series. I like the Outlander television show as well. Harry Potter. Need I say more? Harry Potter. Those are the main books. As a child, the only book I ever read twice was 101 Dalmatians. I loved that story. Dodie Smith, she's awesome. I hope that you've had a chance to read the book. It goes so much more into the personalities of the animals than the movie did. That's a cool book. Favorite music. Be easier to say what I don't like. I don't care for screaming heavy metal. Although, yeah, no, pretty much. And I don't care for techno. To me, it sounds like the same noise over and over again, and I get agitated when I listen to it. My husband kind of likes it sometimes, and so he'll play it, and then I'll have to say, no, we have to stop this, because it just, something about it irritates me. But that's just me. If you love it, I'm pleased, because obviously people do, or they wouldn't make it. Music. One word to describe me. When they first made this, you were supposed to just do it. Don't think about it. But I've had, a couple of years of watching people do this, and so I've had a chance to think about it, and so I can't not think about it. And the one word I think describes me is human. But not like you think. Obviously, there's a biological human, but all the things that it means to be human. I am fallible. I am intelligent. I am angry at times. I am scared. I am loving. I am whatever. Hungry. All those things. Sometimes I'm sick. Sometimes I'm healthy. Sometimes I'm sad. All those things. But the best word for all of that, in my mind, is human. So that is the Know Your Needleworker tag by Whimsy Daisical. And I want to thank her for creating that tag. And I also want to thank all those people who have answered this tag ahead of me. It is an amazing way to kind of get an overview of who we are beyond what our stitching shows. Let's see, what's up next? Oh, I haven't mentioned it before. I did mention it earlier in this video. I am headed to 2 stitching retreats in the future. On October 21st through the 23rd, I am going to HadeCon. This is sponsored by Heaven and Earth Designs. It's taking place in Seaside, Oregon. We will be meeting on Friday at 4 for some cocktails and get to know you. And then Saturday and on Sunday until 4, we'll be sitting together and stitching and taking classes and chatting together and getting to know each other and seeing some of the designers. And there's supposed to be goodie bags that are specifically designed for this event. Awesome. Right now there are 37 people signed up, and I think she said that the room holds up to 75, so there's still room. It costs $110 to register for this event. You have to get your own lodging, but there's hotels nearby, and I think the fee also includes lunch on Saturday and lunch on Sunday. Otherwise, you get your own meals, but the hotel I booked has a breakfast included, so that's taken care of as well. I'll be driving down with my husband and son because fortunately that Friday is also a day off from school. So the guys will be touring Seaside, Oregon, which is a lovely tourist town. They've got tons of fun stuff for folks to do, while I am spending time getting to know other stitchers. If you're going, let me know, and let's plan on meeting up. If you're thinking of going, talk to me and let me try to encourage you to come. I would love to get to know more of the Flosstubers in person, and this is a great chance. The other event that I'm attending is the Mad Haters Retreat in Crewe in England in February 2017. That particular event is booked. It's full, so they aren't taking any new registrations unless somebody has to drop out, and then there is a waiting list of folks who can get in. So I have gotten a chance to chat with a lot of the Flosstubers who went last year. Well, all of the Flosstubers who went last year got a chance to get to know, and so I'll finally get to see them all in person and give them all the great big hugs that I've been wanting to give them as I've gotten to know them, but not in a weird way. That sounded weird, but it's not. I love those ladies. Not in a weird way. You know what I mean? They're friends. Anyway, so I consider myself very lucky to be able to go to both of these events. I'm excited because this will be the first time that my passport, which I've had since 1999, will ever have a stamp in it. We've been to Mexico, we've been to Canada, but they don't stamp American passports there. So I'm all excited to finally get a stamp in my passport. That's the big thing. Oh, that's sad. That's about it for the news that I have for you guys this time. What's coming up is I'm putting together and editing the video of my mother's Afghans, so that is in the works, and I will show you next time my start on Autumn Owl and how that process is going. Hopefully it's not as scary as it could possibly be. And I hope to come and see you guys a little more often. I'd like to do every 2 weeks. Weekly seems a little much, but every 2 weeks seems like enough to I'd have enough information to share and so forth. Anyway, thank you again for watching. Thank you again for commenting. Thumbs up if you like it. Comment if you really like it, and subscribe if you really, really, really like me. Thanks for watching, and it's now time to go ahead and stitch like the wind.